Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Back again on my YouTube channel, Feni Sucidia Permatasari, and today I will review one of the novel that have been discussed a lot in my Women's Literature of Ummah class, which called Him, Me, Muhammad Ali by Randa Jarar 2016. Basically, this book is about identity, survival, and the struggle of people living under control and oppression. It focuses a lot of Palestinian people, but the theme are very universal. Uh, is about the feeling of displaced, fighting for a freedom, and holding on to who you are even when others is try to define you. The book also talks about how people face challenge from powerful systems like colonialism, patriarchy, prejudice. Instead of just showing these people as victims, it shows their strength, their resistance, and their humanity. Jara used humor, metaphor, and a lot of deep emotion from a different character in each different part to show how hard it can be to live under constant suspicion or in place where freedom is very limited. So I think it's also a challenge stereotype, especially how the West often misunderstood or simplified is. In simple terms, I think Hemni Muhammad Ali is about people fighting to keep their identity and dignity in a world that often try to take them both way. And I love the fact that Jara used Muhammad Ali as her title because I think Muhammad Ali is a Muslim boxer who try to showing his identity as a Muslim in a Western world. So the first quotation is from page 5 when Jarar used a Kamar Egyptian character to show this quotation. He realized that jumping to the moon will be more realistic than obtaining a visa and traveling to Houston for astronaut training. I think Kamar, an Egyptian character, here about people walking on the moon and dreams of becoming an astronaut. But he wanted to travel to the US for astronaut training, but he quickly realized that getting a visa is almost impossible. The metaphor compare getting a user visa to something as hard as jumping to the moon, showing how difficult it is from people from country like Egypt to access opportunity in the West. I think, in my opinion, this metaphor show how unfair the system is from people from the East, especially brown or Arab people. Logically, jumping to the moon is impossible, but Kamar feel like getting a visa is just as impossible for him to become an astronaut. It shows how the dream of studying or working in the US feel out of reach for people like him, not because they aren't capable, but because of how hard the system make it for them. I think this isn't just about the visa. It's about how people from Eastern country are seen. They are often judged by stereotypes that make it harder for them to be accepted. For example, Kamar want to be an astronaut, but because he is from Egypt, an Arab country, he faces more obstacles than someone from West. This metaphor directly linked to Orientalism, the idea that West often see people from the East as less capable or less advanced. In Kamar's case, the system make it harder for him to follow his dream because of where he was from. Orientalism play a big role here, I think. Country like US view Easterners as backward or uneducated, so they make access to things like visa more difficult. In real life, this happens when people from country in the Middle East of Africa face strict visa requirement, extra questioning, and more rejecting compared to the Western application. So I think, in my opinion, this metaphor critique how the system limits someone's dream based on where they are from. It shows how people from Eastern country are seen as outsiders who aren't welcome in a space that should be open to everyone. The second quotation that I found very interesting is when Ajarar in page 107 talk about not as suspicious as Homeland Security will get about your flying Arab ass. I think this quote Jarar used a humor to highlight the harsh reality of racial profiling. Arab in a Western world often seen as a threat in airport, especially after the 9/11, leading to extra security checks based solely on their identity. The quote is direct and use humor, but beneath it is a serious issue. The constant suspicions faced by Arab in the West, the idea of flying Arab as mock how absurd this security practice can be. For example, I think after the 9/11, Arab and Muslim became a target of racial profiling at the airport worldwide or even at a real life, not only at airport. Innocent people travel are often subject to extra questioning and research simply because of their background. In my opinion, this quote is a strong critique of how prejudice is built into security system. It shows how racial profiling and judge create fear and alienates entire community, turning everyday travel into a stressful experience. I can imagine being Arab living in Western country after the 9/11, especially every time they go to airport to visiting their family or etc. It can be very stressful. So I think Jara used this humor, but deep down itself, the harsh reality of Arab face every day. And next is when Jarar used a metaphor who is linked to post-colonialism, when Malik, a Palestinian birth character, saying that my father took me on a flight to the Mediterranean. The people living to the west uh, of our village, Israelis carried large guns and monitor their airspace vigilantly. I think this quote showing how Malik, a Palestinian bird who talked about flying with his father over the Mediterranean, the father mentioned the large gun and vigilant monitoring show how even the sky is controlled by Israel, reflecting the tense and dangerous environment that Palestinian people live in. So I think this isn't just about a bird flying, but deep down it's about how even basic freedom, like saying the sky or something like moving from one place to another, are heavily restricted by military power. In my opinion, this quote is powerful metaphor for control and power. The airspace isn't visible; it's just air, but it's treated like a border that people can cross freely. The phrase monitoring airspace vigilantly show how colonial power like Israel used military control to limit movement even in the sky. This represented how colonized people like Palestine are constantly watched and controlled, not just online but everywhere. I think it's not colonized again, I think it's genocide. So also design critique how genocide colonialism continue to affect daily life by making freedom feel more impossible. Palestinians can move freely without facing surveillance and military force. Imagine needing permission just to fly or travel. It's a constant reminder that they are not in control of their own life. It also raises a bigger question: what does freedom mean if even the sky is restricted? How can people feel safe when they are always being watched? This kind of military control show how colonial power maintains dominance by making the colonized people feel powerless even in the simple action like flying. In real life, we see this how Palestinians need a permit to travel and face constant checkpoints and military presence. I think there can even travel. This quote show how colonialism and what Israel are doing right now is just about taking land. It's about controlling every aspect of life, making people feel trapped even in places that should be free like the sky. And Jara used a Malik, a Palestinian bird character in this is very smart because even a small bird like Malik can even feel a freedom in the sky that what even the people is feel in a real life. So I think it's very clever and smart how Jara used a bird, which is Malik character in this story. The next quotation is from page 89. I think it's linked directly to Orientalism. We are small birds of prey. We sometimes work to our advantage. We can go on long distance flight without arousing too much suspicion. I think in this quote, the narrator is Malik, a small Palestinian bird. Malik talks about how being small allow him to fly long distance without being noticed. However, this isn't just about birds. I think deep down is a very cleverly metaphor for how Palestinian and other people from East have to move carefully in the world that constantly monitor them. In my opinion, this metaphor shows how people from the East often have to stay quiet and avoid attention to survive. They are seen as dangerous or suspicious because of the stereotype created by Orientalism. The idea that people from the East are strange or harmful. Malik described himself as a small bird to highlight how he can avoid danger by appearing harmless and insignificant. I think, but there's a deeper message here. Being seen as small might help Malik to avoid trouble, but it also shows how Eastern people are often underestimated. They are seen as the less important or less capable, which means they are often overlooked. This creates a way from them to move through a system of control, but it's also unfair because I think it reduces them to something less than human, like a bird that isn't taken seriously. So I think this metaphor critique how Orientalism forced Eastern people to act small and invisible to survive. The world around them treat them with a suspicion, so they learn to adapt, just like Malik, which is a bird. They hide their true strength and identity to avoid being seen as a threat. In real life, I think this happens to many Arab and Muslim, especially in Western country. For example, after the 9/11, many Arab learned to stay quiet or avoid certain behavior just to avoid attention. They were treated as dangerous, even if they had nothing wrong. In my opinion, this quote show how unfair it is that people have to act they are less than who they are to survive and hide their true identity to survive. I think it's a survival strategy, but it also shows how much they have lost because of this harmful stereotype. It's a powerful reminder of how Orientalism continue to shape how Eastern people are treated, forcing them to adapt to a system that doesn't trust them. And the next is in page 95. I think that's also directly linked to post-colonialism. In this quote, I think Malik, the Palestinian bird, talk about wanting to go back to Akraba, his homeland. However, he knows that he is too old to make the journey. Instead of focusing on people, he focused on the land, olive tree, earth, and cicadas. This shows how deeply connected he is to the place, not just as home but as part of his identity. In my opinion, this metaphor show that land is more than just a physical place, it's a part of who we are. Malik, Palestinian bird, doesn't just miss his home, he miss the things that make it special. The olive tree, the sound of cicadas, these are symbol of his cultural roots and memories. And I think for Palestinian, olive tree are especially important. They represent their history, family, and their resilience because olive tree can live for hundreds of years. The cicadas symbolize life and continuity as their sound are tied to nature and tradition. Malik, in this case, a Palestinian bird, longing for these things show how colonization and displacement don't just take away land. They take away a person's connection to their root, to their culture, and to their land and to their history. So I think this metaphor critiques how colonialism spared people from their land and their identity. When people are forced to leave their home, they don't just lose a place to live, they lose their connection to their past, their family tradition, their sense of belonging. Malik desire to return isn't just about going back to physical place, it's about reconnecting with everything that defines who he is. In real life, this happens to many displaced people, especially when we see a lot of news from Palestinian people from Gaza who have been forced to leave their home to the genocide that happened from Israel. Even they can return, they carry a deep longing from their land, which hold their memories, culture, and sense of self. In my opinion, this quote is powerful reminder that land is not just a land. For some people, it's part of their heart and history. Losing it creates a feeling of emptiness and longing that can last for generations. Malik's stories show how displacement isn't just a physical, it's emotional and cultural too. So I think how Jara used like a memory, how Jara used this kind of metaphor like just a land, it show how deep the book itself. So I think this metaphor help us to understand how deeply colonialism affect people, not just by taking their home, but also disconnecting them for their root, their history, and their culture.